Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with Virginia Paranormal Investigations, and here we are at the Boxwood Inn, and this is a historic bed and breakfast in Newport News. It was built around 1897 by a man named Simon Curtis, and through the years when he first built it, the train used to stop here. So it was used as a record keeping room, it was used as a post office, they had a general store in there, and they also rented out rooms. Now, it's reportedly home to 12 different spirits. One of these spirits is Simon Curtis himself, and he's believed to be fond of cigars. So we're going to use some cigars as some trigger objects and see if we can see his spirit. And also his wife, Nana, is one of the more gentler spirits that's here. She used to take care of the kids and everything, so she's been seen in a lot of the rooms, along with many other spirits. So we're going to go in, we're going to do the investigation and see if we can pick anything up.
Hi, my name is Kathy Hulick, and I'm here at the Boxwood Inn. In 1896, Simon Curtis was over at the train depot, and some dignitaries came to town, and they said that Warwick County was the next up-and-coming area, and they needed a place for the Hall of Records. They had $2,500 to give for this to be built. Well, Mr. Simon Curtis walked over to the group and said, "I'm your man." He was 19 years old. He said, "And while you're at it, you'll also need a post office." So he got $2,500 to build a place for the Hall of Records, and he got $1,500 for the post office. So he built his residence, his office, the post office, and while he was at it, the general store. He was known as the boss man of Warwick County. He was the Hall of Records keeper, he was the postmaster, the magistrate, the treasurer, and he ran the general store. If you needed anything, this was the house you came to. Now, he was married to the lovely Miss Nana. They talk about the train stopping right outside the front door and everyone getting off in their finery for whatever social event was being held here. Also, during World War I and World War II, the house was leased to Fort Eustis for officers needing R&R. Now, they had 4 children while they lived here. Coleman was the oldest, and he and his father started our first Ford company right across the street over here, Curtis Motors. Douglas was the second son, and they started our first oil company, Curtis Oil. When their oldest daughter turned 13, Mrs. Curtis went to Simon and said, "It has to be the celebration of the year." So hence, right after you go through the house and you come to our party porch, that was built for that celebration. Now, that is our main business now. This is a house of celebrations because, again, due to the parties and the house being rented to Fort Eustis, the reputation of the house is a house of celebrations and a house of healing. You should always be better when you leave than when you arrived. Now, the house was always very active. It was wonderful. And then the last Curtis to live here was Coleman. Later in life, after his parents had passed, he stayed with the house, and one Sunday he was invited to church by a friend, and he met Miss Edith. Miss Edith was from the north, as we say, and her family had always dealt in antiques. So while they lived here, her passion was antiques, and she filled that sun porch full of them. Well, she was the last Curtis to live here. And when she died, the person in charge of the estate pretty much locked the front door and left. The house sat empty for 10 years. Well, Burger King came to town and they went to the city of Newport News, because this is all Newport News now, and said, "There's an old house and a piece of property, and what's needed right there is a Burger King." Well, Newport News at first thought this was a fabulous idea, but some folks had got together in the area and they wanted to save the train depot and this house, part of our history. We don't want to tear down history. So Barbara Lucas went to one of the town meetings and said, "Please, I want to make this an event venue and a bed and breakfast." And she talked them into it. They said she dressed up in colonial garb and took cherry brownies. So now they have to decide on a price. So they're doing the tour of the house. It's very structurally sound, needs some work, but they're trying to agree. But somebody in the group is looking side to side and realized when they left all these wonderful antiques. Well, they get to that back room and realize you can't even get a toothpick in. They called Sotheby's down. Sotheby's put a tent out in the side yard. They held an auction for 2 days. From what I understand, you had to buy a book for $25 to be able to attend the auction, and they came from everywhere for this auction. The historian has let me know that it brought in half the value of the antiques that were in this house, and it was over $4 million. One of the things that were left in the house were the chairs that were sat upon for the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, the next thing was you didn't need a sewer line in the 1800s, but you do now. So, Barbara went down to the city and stroked a check, and they said, okay, what we'll do is we'll go out the front door underneath the railroad tracks, and we'll hook you up to the Food Line grocery store. Well, they started this process. The only problem was they could not get out of the front yard. They kept digging, but would hit solid and couldn't get through. Come to find out, in the 1950s, 2 coal trains collided right out front. And there was no EPA back then, so they dug holes and buried it. The coal, the trains, everything, 3 miles both ways. So Barbara said, well, hook me up to Lee Hall Elementary. And they said, no, ma'am, that is an elementary school, and you're going to be a commercial property, so that is not allowed. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and dig you a brand new line, which they did. Then they presented Barbara with a bill for $40,000. Well, Barbara got to thinking about it, and she went upstairs and she found her receipt, and it said 10 Elmhurst Street. $2,500 paid in full. They couldn't collect on that bill. Now, that was a sign that the Boxwood Inn should always be here. Barbara had a wonderful business here, thriving with weddings and events and a bed and breakfast. And in 2007, I was a caterer, and she contacted me and said, you're the perfect person for the Boxwood Inn. So in December of 2008, December 1st, 2008, we took over, my family and I. My name is Kathy. My husband is Derek. He's our honey-do guy. He does the bookkeeping, the landscaping, the maintenance, you name it. My son Josh is our chef here. My daughter-in-law, Becky, does all of our marketing and computer work. And now we have a beautiful grandchild, Madeline, who likes to greet our historic tours and such. The main thing about the Boxwood Inn, it is a wonderful place. There's nothing bad here. One thing I like to tell everyone is really the reason we're here, thanks to Barbara, but also my son Chad, at age 22, had a heart attack and died. But this was his dream. He used to come and cater events for me with Barbara, and Barbara thought this was perfect for him. So Chad will be one of the guests that I'm sure you will find here tonight.
So we're at the Boxwood Inn, and currently we are in the honeymoon suite, which is upstairs. And we have on the bed a print pad, so if anything below 87 degrees touches it, it will make a print. And then we also have a temperature counter right next to it. And yeah. And what's the story as far as what they see in this room? Little girl.
What was the story with this room?
This is General Pershing's suite, I think.
I believe it is.
Did anyone grab right up here? That's,
Did you see something go flying by?
no, this hole right here is really hot.
Is it?
See?
Why, it was hotter?
What was it?
The light.
The pole thingy?
Oh.
I was just whatever the person.
This was General Pershing's room? Being General Pershing?
General Pershing, yes. Come and visit.
To me, it sounds like someone's running around upstairs. Is anybody upstairs?
I was wondering if it was thunder.
I did see lightning already.
Should have grabbed the two-way radio and see what it is. They're downstairs.
Let's see what we got here
Well,
in
the
this.
weather.
I mean, it could be that too, and just making it sound
Staying
like
a steady
it's...
75.
But you
Almost sounds like gunshots.
I don't know how you get gunshots out of that.
Fireworks?
Because I recognize that sound.
That is what it sounds like, but
A train?
Yeah.
I can hear
it sounds
that.
like a train, but there's no train out there.
I'm around them all day, so.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's how I feel about it too.
That's me walking around in here.
We get one of those loud voices. Did you hear?
Right there.
You know what, there's that big added vent fan right up there.
Yeah, it's gotta be what it is. But
The steps.
it's right in here. What it is. It's gotta be something running on the wall though, because it's constant.
Go ahead.
The attic stairs.
Yeah, it's in this wall. Well,
What happens in the attic?
Stuff gets moved around. They say that they think they see like kids and stuff. Okay, we're in the attic, and we have placed these toy soldiers right here because there is said to be a little boy who plays with toys and things like that up in the attic. And someone will place ping pong balls as well as other bigger objects for him to play with, and they'll move around. And no one's up here, and it just goes unexplained. So we're gonna try and figure it out.
and also up here we have a little motion light. And this thing here, we have a camera on it. And if anything goes over it, it'll light up.
Who moved the dial to that chair?
What?
Who moved the dial to that chair?
The ghost?
Come on, who did it? Who moved the
Nobody.
ball to the chair?
Nobody.
Who did it?
The ghost.
Seriously.
But you don't believe in ghosts?
Oh my God, it's Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, the record is rolling.
Where?
Right here. Well, he's part of him.
He's 88.3 degrees.
Yeah.
Wow, he's on fire.
Should take a look at the thermal.
I see lots of dust.
Yeah.
That was one hot Santa Claus right there. Alright, among other things, we have the recorder rolling, and we're going to do an EVP session, so we'll just all state our names so that we'll know if we hear anybody where, you know, the voice came from. If it's not a disembodied voice, it's one of us. Jeff.
Brian?
Erica.
Lisa.
Right, and we'd like to know if there is anybody here with us. Hopefully you don't mind us being here in your house. And we don't mean to trespass, we just want to talk to you and find out a little bit more about you and if there's anything we can do to help you. Could you tell us what your name is? truck going by. How old are you? Some voices outside. Can you tell me what year it is? We got a train going by. So we're gonna pause questioning until after that passes. Some more likes on Instagram.
Oh my god. See, this is what we do on investigation. Everybody's got their phone out. Text.
Hey, I'm doing thermal.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
I'm doing thermal too.
And I'm watching this temperature.
So
taking
they
it, too.
so they say.
So I'm taking the temperature readings.
And texting.
I'm checking Instagram.
Oh. Well, while I was there, I might as well check Facebook.
Yeah, and I mean, while the train's passing and we're not doing anything, I'd like to take this time to thank all our followers on Instagram. 3,060 of them. Thank you. Keep following. Hey, the train passes. We're going to resume. If you're here with us, we'd really like to hear from you and know if there's anything that you have to say or anything that you'll say to us. Did something bad happen to you? Can you tell us what happened? I'm wondering if do you like to play with this ball? Can you move it for us? I'm sure it must get lonely up here, and if you're up here alone, we'll be glad to play with you while we're here.
Why don't we move the doll and see if it moves? Like when we come back later.
That's a good idea.
We'll have to tell everybody to not move it.
Yeah. Alright, well, what we're going to do, we're going to just take the ball.
I said the doll, but you know, whatever.
Well, the ball and the doll. But first the ball, because the ball will move easier. And we're going to put it here, okay? Now,
That could move with anybody just walking
Yep.
around.
it's not going to move.
Are you going in Scottish free hold down?
Throw down. So the ball's not going to move.
I'm gonna get some water.
Temperature right around on the floor is 86. And we'll check back on this a little later on, and we'll let everyone know where it's at so no one moves it.
You gonna move the doll too?
See if it moved. Yeah, where should I put the doll? She said it was back in the floorboards, didn't she?
Yeah. Who moved the doll? Seriously though,
I don't
because it
know.
was over here on the floor when we walked through earlier.
I told you who moved it. Okay, we're gonna put your doll there. And if you want to play, like I said, we'll be glad to play with you. You know it must get lonely up here. Alright, let's go check out the other section. Yep, so there we got an old bottle on a trunk. And we're here in the other section of the attic. And we'd like to know if there's anyone here with us today. If there is, could you tell us your name? Could you tell us where you're from? Was that your bottle? Can you move it for us? Can you make a sound for us so that we know you're here? I think I saw some kind of a sparkly thing right there. Where? Right between your left-hand side shoulder and the ceiling. I don't know if I just caught a speck of dust flying by. Let's check it out later.
We were in there helping a little girl. Mr. Carter wasn't happy about it. He was pissed. And as we were leaving, I forget his name, dude goes, he wants to slam that door, and I look at the door, and it's moving, going like this.
Did you get on camera?
No, the camera, only. It was awesome.
I'm sorry, I didn't think
And there's no air
we were
conditioning.
having a disagreement.
There's
You
no air
didn't want the
conditioning in
little
there.
girl on the-
So what do we want on this pizza? Some banana peppers and pineapple?
That's my favorite. I
Sounds
don't know
good
if
to me.
anybody else is gonna eat that though. I think
You guys
we
will
should
eat that?
just get
You'll eat
cheese.
that, right?
I'm not
Look at-
hungry, so
just
I'm
look
not
at your
eating.
face, that's a no.
I don't eat cheese either, though.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to get a pizza though still?
Well, it depends where you get it from.
Pizza Hut.
Oh, then no.
Where would you eat it from?
Papa John's has vegan
Let me see,
pizza.
there's some Papa John's around here.
I think Chanel's has vegan pizza.
No, you don't.
No.
Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, Dino's Pizza Shop,
Little Caesars is vegan.
Danto's. So Little Caesars is vegan pizza?
They don't deliver though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Does Pizza Hut deliver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do that.
Alright.
Maybe Jefferson?
Maybe Jefferson.
Maybe Jefferson.
Jefferson's right down the street. Depends where in Jefferson though.
Here
That's
you
a
calling
long road.
757?
Oh,
340
Thrilling.
I hate that stupid commercial.
757-320-3006.
No, 596 3000. That's when they deliver the Boxwood Inn.
Almost halfway.
You know, you might just want to get the big boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm so glad I got
Yeah,
that.
it's like $18.99 for like 20 pieces.
That was the most random thing.
We definitely need to get the big boy.
Big boy.
I was just
Sure, it's
thinking
the
for everyone.
Boxwood. Yeah, Boxwood. Yeah, Boxwood is in like a box that you put stuff in. Yeah, Boxwood.
and wood, like you make the box out of.
Yeah, BOX. Yep, WOOD.
And like an omelet.
Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast place. Sure. It's the Boxwood Inn. It's on Elmhurst.
You know Elm?
Yeah.
Elm is in Hearst.
Can I get one order of breadsticks with no cheese? No Parmesan either. Just plain. And then we'd also like a big boy cheese pizza with extra cheese.
So here we are still at the Boxwood Inn, and we went through a little struggle trying to order some pizza. You know, we called the one, Chanello's, and they directed us to another one, and that one told me they don't deliver here. So we had Erica call them, and now they're bringing us a pizza. So we got the big boy, and we got
Medium cheese sticks with no cheese.
medium cheese sticks with no cheese. And it's on its way. So we need some fuel for the rest of our investigation.
What was your experience when you called?
Well, when I called the first one, the guy didn't really seem to understand what I was saying. You know, I told him we're at the Boxwood Inn. And he's like, oh, the Boxwood? And I was like, yeah, the Boxwood. He's like, Bogwood. I'm like, yeah, it's like box, like you would put something in. wood. He's like, oh yeah, Boxwood. And I'm like, yeah, Boxwood. He's like, Boxwood? I'm Boxwood. So he put another lady on the phone, and she's like, oh yeah, we don't deliver there. You got to call this other one. So call the other one, and they're like, yeah, we don't deliver there. So I struck out with the pizza delivery, but Erica got him to deliver. What's the deal with this big boy? It's a pretty good pizza, huh?
Yes, it's about that big.
Oh man!
Party!
How many slices we get out of that about?
About 20.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well,
Oh, as we were leaving the room, the side porch, we had the distinct impression that Mr. Carter was standing behind the door, very upset, and kind of had the impression he wanted to slam the door in our face. And we turned around and looked, and we could see the door kind of waving back and forth a little bit, like there was somebody pushing on it. There was no breeze in or out of there. So, yeah, totally sure on that one.
You smell it? Someone small, standing in that doorway.
I smell cigar smoke in here too.
I smell.
There's a small child just standing right
Let me
there.
get around
What
here.
kind of child?
I don't know, it was a black figure. I saw it physically.
Wow, could have been the little boy from upstairs. Wonder if there's a light I can turn on low here. Like close the door. Let's shut this door so. I just can't see now. Heavy? It's never like this, guys. I'm serious.
What is your name?
No
Just want
sense.
the little boy to come back.
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's down the hall someplace probably. So they paint and the flowers to me. Do you enjoy others staying in this room? I think this is all we're gonna get.
I think the pizza guy's here.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's get
Let's
that big
take a
boy.
He was like,
I think the pizza guy's here.
Like you said, serious about it.
How do you know?
Huh? Oh, we're up there doing an EVP, and we heard a sound, and it sounded like somebody pulling up in the driveway.
Did it smell like pizza? Did it smell like the
I didn't
pizza
really pick up
delivery
any
guy?
scents, like any scent of pizza or anything like that, but I definitely had some weird vibes. Like,
you have
the
the
vibes I was
presence?
picking up was that the pizza guy is here.
Like right here.
Like, I just kind of got this feeling in here that the pizza guy's here.
Well, I don't know why you grabbed yourself there, but that's where you feel your pizza sense.
I feel my pizza all in here.
Interesting. Okay.
So, we're gonna go check it out.
Okay.
All right, you ready to do this? Let's go investigate.
Let me know. I've got $5 for you.
Oh, you got the $5?
I've got $5.
Okay. How much should I tip him? Like, what do you,
Nothing.
what do you,
actually find the place or not?
Nothing, I like that.
like, what do you guys usually tip the pizza delivery guy?
$5.
You don't tip him?
I don't usually pay for pizza.
It's usually like $5.
I'm a pizza and run.
I'm gonna go by real quick, not to block the view. Where's Walter?
$3 to $5? All right. Yeah, so, all right.
Because she knows he's making 20% off the entire
Yeah,
order.
sorry.
Oh, really?
But it's
Nice.
past 45 minutes.
Yeah, she got a job down there.
Yeah.
What do you usually tip the pizza guy?
Depends on how smart he looks.
The dumber, the more money you give him, or
No.
the smarter?
The smarter I give him more money because I have to pay for the student loan.
But if he's dumber, he probably.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the school, so it doesn't matter.
How much do you want to contribute to his weed habit?
$5. Let's go check it out.
Are you sure?
Let's do this.
What?
So this is what happened. We were up there and we were doing an EVP, right? And we heard what sounded like wheels on gravel. You know, like a car pulling on it. But we came down here and there's no pizza guy.
I'm glad you found it. I'm sorry. It didn't ring, but I just got your voicemail.
What's going on? I'm paying for the pizza. Well, I mean, they gave me money, but, you know, I'm giving you the cash.
He doesn't need it.
34.57. So let's see here.
That was a big boy cheese and a medium cheese breadstick.
Not cheese breadstick. No cheese breadstick.
Medium cheese breadsticks
Yeah, it
and
was-
not cheese.
It was supposed to be breadsticks with no cheese, and then a pizza with extra cheese.
Let me double check on that medium. They might have got it right, but on the ticket,
Uh huh.
That's a big boy.
Oh, they
I thought
changed
it was two big boys for...
No, that's...
no, that'd be
Oh.
about 30 some.
Yeah, when I was down again, it was like two larges, one topping for 1924.
We dropped it to $17.99. Half.
I quit in 2012, so...
That's a big boy. We're going to have to open 2 doors. So you ready to take a look at this
Are
pizza?
there any plates or anything?
We finally got the big
Yeah.
boy. The only problem is they gave us the cheese sticks without cheese with the cheese. Oh, it's got cheese. Look at the big boy. Man, this is some big pieces.
Yeah, it's definitely not cut up into like 20 slices.
No, it's like 4 slices.
What?
It's like 4
You're supposed
slices.
to cut
Each
it
one's the size of
two
a
down the
personal
middle
pizza.
and
It's
two
like
on the
1,
side.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces.
This is the area that used to be the general store
And post office.
and post office. And up here, they still have the original boxes from when it was a post office. Have they had any activity here?
During the Paracon, there was activity in here.
Oh, really? What happened in here?
They were passing through.
We're going into the kitchen. Alright, well, we're back up at the attic, and we're going to go inside and see if anything's been moved. There was a ping pong ball that was on the floor by our light sensor. And then we set the yellow ball on the floor over on the other side, and the doll was on the floor. So we're going to see if any of that stuff got moved. No one was up here since we left. Ping pong ball still looks like it's still there. And the doll, and the yellow ball, still in the same spot. So, nothing moved. I don't know, as far as physically seeing stuff so far, we haven't really physically seen much, but we'll know more when we go over the evidence, of course. I'm gonna roll this ball to see if anything happens.
Is it a downhill slope?
I'm gonna say it is.
Yeah. Well, why didn't it roll back that time?
It's interesting.
Can you roll it
push
back?
the ball back to me? it to me. I'll roll it back. You don't have to be afraid. Here. Ready? That's interesting, isn't it?
Did you put any more force behind that one?
No. Not that I noticed. I haven't put force behind any of them, though. It was just kind of a tap.
Do you feel it sloping down?
Not towards me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like right now I'm setting it down and it's not rolling. So if I'm pushing it that way, why would it roll back this way? See? And there's, it's not rolling back to me now. And that didn't even go as far as the last one. I pushed even lighter.
Can you push the ball back?
Can you make it move?
So why did it roll back that one time? It's got to be in this one spot then.
It rolled back twice. But it went to here and it rolled back, which doesn't make sense because the other times it went to here and it rolled around that way. See, now it's not doing it.
Yeah, I should have rolled back that time.
Yeah. There was anyone here, they're gone now. 2 times it did exactly the same thing. And then it just stopped. So I think we may have gotten some good evidence from up here, actually. Alright, well we wrapped up our investigation at the Boxwood Inn, and we're on our way back. We did have a little bit of activity up in the attic. We didn't pick up any EMF spikes, no temperature changes. We had 2 cameras that were on surveillance, so we have to review the tapes on them and see if we picked anything up. The interesting thing was the ball in the attic. I rolled it, and on 2 times it rolled back to me. The rest of the times it just rolled and either veered off or it just stopped. So we weren't really able to duplicate it several times. At first we thought it was a slant on the floor, and then we set the ball there and it didn't roll either way. So that was interesting. You know, you all can be the judge if you think there was something there or not. We'd love to hear about it. One of the very interesting things that happened was the pizza delivery. We ordered from Chanello's, and we had the big boy. But other than that, we have a lot of evidence to review. We got to review the EVPs. We got to go over the videos, and we got to review the pictures. And we'll be sure to share and post any evidence that we find. Make sure you check out our Instagram, Virginia Paranormal, and like us on Facebook.